Hey there, Wino guys. How you doing? This is Wino Guy in Sadler, Texas. I'm at the Hartman Family Vineyard. Just got through doing some hole digging and some, I don't know, marking and things like that. But, so now I've got two friends with me. I've got the owners of Hartman Family Vineyards, the Hartmans, which is Krista and Scott. And then we thought we're going to drink a little wine. And so what we decided to do, well, what I decided to do, actually Scott decided to do this. So we're going to do a little tasting kind of test thing here. We've got the Vermentino, Texas Vermentino 2018 Bingham Family Vineyards, and we've got this Sadler Texas 2018 Vermentino di Toscana, which makes it from Tuscany, both 2018s. I will tell you that this one has a 13.7% volume alcohol. This one has a 12.5. So that was fascinating. That was interesting. So what we did was, and if you hear any music in the background playing, it is not my music. I don't have any rights to that music. Sorry, YouTube and Facebook and you guys. And by the way, if you're not already subscribing, click the subscribe button below, and there's a little tiny bell there. Click that little bell, and that lets you know that I have just cut a new video. So I'm gonna let you see the two. Okay, people, you guess what you think you see. They look very similar, right? But one of them's darker. So I'm gonna let you guys think about it in the comments below. Tell me what you think. Of course, I wish you could smell it, but you can't. So, but I can. And I'm gonna tell you what I think here in just a moment. You know what's really funny, YouTubers? If you got a snob doing wine, do this. Go. And then go, oh yeah. And then look at their face. And just be real serious. So funny. Okay, so I think the Texas is more fruity forward to me, number one. Number two, I think the Toscana has more minerality and definitely has more of a petrol nose. It has a little bit of a diesel, kind of a little bit of a thing to me. But I'm going to let the other two guys tell you their perspective. And I will tell you, and full disclosure, Krista is a farmer growing vines here. She's also been part of a couple of different organizations that did wine tasting and judging. But she's not certified in that direction, but she's good. Scott is the husband, and he works in another field, but he's on this farm 24/7 as well. And truthfully, I don't know his background with respect to wine judging and tasting, but I'll let him tell you about that. So I'm going to move this camera, and we're going to let you see the farm her, Krista Hartman. She's going to tell you her perspective on those two wines.
Hi.
Look here.
So, I like both the wines. I think they're probably from a similar altitude, maybe from similar soil development. When I had to choose between the two what I was going to have for my glass, the boys wouldn't let me know ahead of time what I chose up until I did, and I picked the Texas one. And it's made by the Dukemans from Bingham grapes, and it's delicious. It's got a really nice pale yellow straw color. It has, like Andy said, the fruit in the nose. I get tropical fruit, like pineapple, maybe like the pineapple lifesaver that you remember, the cloudy colored pale white lifesaver. And it's just lovely, and it kind of has an interesting little honey finish, but it doesn't last long. The acid comes through after, but I like it. And truth be told, I'd probably put some ice in it and put it in a bigger glass and drink it for a long time. And the one from Tuscany is from south of Montepulciano, south of Siena, and just a beautiful area. And it's in the Vernaccia and San Gimignano neighborhood too. And it's very nice. And I noted it was made by a woman winemaker, so that inspired me as well.
And her name is Sofia Padbanera.
And Sophia makes a really lovely wine. And I think, did we say this one was the higher alcohol?
The Texas.
The Texas one. Okay, so the Italy is the lesser alcohol. It's softer, more perfumey. I would stack this up next to like
Look
a
at the latitude.
Sancerre.
If you can, real quick. I don't know if you can just heard me whispering.
Perfumey.
So
It's delicious. Scott is looking up something.
he's looking up latitude. I'm just curious, as after what she just
Great
said,
comparison.
if there's a latitude difference, because we know that the Bingham vineyards are up in the high plains of Texas, which is about 33,
36.
35, right around there, latitude. And Tuscany, we're going to find out from Scott here. And actually, I'm going to let him tell you. Anything else you want to say about the wines before I turn it over to Scott?
No, I've said too much already. I'm really
No, she hadn't said too
enjoying
much,
both of
but
them.
that's okay. We're going to go ahead and move it to Scott, and he's going to tell you the latitude. If you found it, you find
I
it.
did.
Just ask. Just look at the. Just ask whatever you got there. Latitude of Tuscany.
Hey Google, what is the latitude of Tuscany?
Listen. Oh yeah,
They're close.
there it is. Now 43.
43.
So that tells you why the alcohol content is higher in the Texas wine, because we're at 33 and they're at 43. So they've got 10 degrees of latitude higher, which would make it more acidic. Which was something Scott said, and he'll tell you more about that thought in a minute. And that's why it's richer. The Texas is richer and more sweet tasting. It's more fruity forward. Okay, we're gonna let Scott Hartman. And again, remember, he's an engineer, so he's not really a wine dude, but he's learning quick. Here he comes.
He's a wine dude.
Okay, the wife said he's a wine dude. Tell me when it's on you.
All right, so the first thing, I'm going to bring sort of the common man's perspective on these wines. And the first thing that hits me is I'm astounded about how similar the two wines' nose and their smell are, and the tastes. Right away, I'm impressed by Dukeman and what they've done coming out of Texas. They've probably been doing it for 5-8 years, and to be able to compete in Italy, where they've been doing it for thousands of years, it's impressive that the Dukeman group can be able to produce a wine that is comparable to Italy. But the other thing that sort of jumps out to me is, while the first reaction is they're very comparable, there are subtle differences. If I take a look at the wine from Italy, I believe that the nose is more floral, which is something that I like. I think the other thing that jumps out at me is the Texas wine was harvested probably with higher bricks, hence leading towards a 1.2% higher alcohol count. And in both the nose and in tasting it, that additional alcohol comes out. So when I sort of taste the two, I think the foundations of the two wines, given the fact that they're the same grape, are very similar. But the thing that jumps out at me is I do think that the higher alcohol does give it a little bit of a stronger taste for coming out of Texas. So I think I actually prefer the wine from Italy slightly. But two of them, like I said, are very comparable, and I would not have a problem sitting on the porch drinking either one.
And by the way, we are sitting on the porch,
Yeah.
technically. So, before I cut you off, or cut myself off, so to speak, I too chose the Italian one because I think as well the acidity level is lower. Lower in the sense that it's you know what, it's not lower. I just figured it out. It is more balanced. I think the sugars, the acid, the alcohol, there is nothing that's overshadowing anything. And so, because technically the Tuscan wine will be more acidic just by nature, nothing to do with man. So there's just my final thoughts. I'm going to let Krista give us her final quick thoughts, and then Scott, and then we're going to let you see us next week. Remember, subscribe, tell your friends, forward this to your friends, and then also hit that little bell on the bottom, and that'll notify you that we're doing something again. So here's Krista saying bye and give your last thoughts.
My last thoughts are everyone should do comparisons like these for fun and for information. And learn what you like, learn what you don't like, and don't be afraid to run up a Texas wine against, some wine from any fabulous region out in the globe, and we're able to hold up And we look forward to bringing you a wine someday from the Hartman Vineyard that might hold up as well. Maybe from
Fantastic.
Real.
It'll be in Tempranillo, folks. That's great. That's wonderful. Here we go. Scott's final words.
Well, if you made it this far, I certainly appreciate you spending time with us. We may be splitting hairs over the differences between the two. Both of them are excellent and both of them are very enjoyable. So certainly look for them in your local liquor store or wine store that you buy wines from.
All righty. That was pretty fun, wasn't it? All right. Something new, something exciting. We'll be doing some other things like this soon. All right. Peace and cheers. And wow, how about that sound? It's kind of cool.